Did you make it push?
No, so we've got a really, we've got a great based group that comes here on a Tuesday, like the Tuesday, the lunchtime meditation.
Yeah.
Paul, he's an absolutely amazing baker.
Okay.
And every week that man bakes us something or another. You see those 3 tier trays? That was full of beautiful chocolate cupcakes.
Okay.
For everybody. So that's what he does.
Yeah. It's his way of paying back to the center. Anyway, let's begin. So, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sorry?
You're changing to Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday lunchtime, cakes come free. But there's a lot of baking. It's always good. Okay, so let's begin. So last week, I spoke a little bit about ADHD, the fact that there's 2 million people diagnosed, there's a lot of children with this stuff, and this seems to be a growing trend. No matter where you look at it, it seems to be a growing trend where more and more individuals are being diagnosed with a disorder. And I think what was found out very valuable last week was the fact that this has been known for thousands of years, that the mind is restless. This is the nature of the mind. And when we talk about the mind, it's not really the mind, so to speak. It's your little ego. It's your little fragile sense of self that's always looking for it's always looking for activity. It's always looking for stimulation. It's always looking for, it can't sit still. And you can do a very simple experiment and see this. Close your eyes, and if you just imagine a red button or a blue button, whatever color you want, and hold your focus on it, notice how long you can hold it. And you will find that the awareness begins to jump up and down. So this is the law of the mind. This is just the way it is. Okay. And now if say, oh, by the way, the out breath, if it's longer than the in breath, means there's something wrong. And pathologize breathing. First tell you what the illness is, educate you that your own behavior is disorder, and then medicalize it, pathologize it, and then make sure you have a medicine for it. That's how it works. Bottom line. Now, while biomedical and pharmaceuticals have a role, they're not the answer. Definitely not the answer. Now, the worldview is, so from one side it said, oh, if you're ADHD or anything like that, it's genetic. No, it isn't. How come, people in many parts of the world are able to still their focus? There's meditation in schools that begin at the start of a class, and you don't have the same problem. Because you learn to still the mind. You learn how to bring your focus back. What does ADHD mean? It means that the mind moves from one thing to another. You don't complete things. There's a level of unsatisfaction. These are natural tendencies of a human being. And the moment you pathologize it, you label someone that there is something wrong with you. And what that does is, it creates a split in you. It's far more detrimental than you think, far more detrimental. If I was to tell you that there is a problem with you, there is an illness with you, the moment you feel that and label yourself with that, your self-perception becomes, there's something wrong with me. I'm not well. This perception changes your quality of life. And then you will use that perception, oh, it's because I have ADHD, or because I have this, I can't do this, or I can't do that. And therefore, you don't engage in life in the same way. Ultimately, at the end of your life, you can have on your gravestone, I had ADHD, didn't get on with life much. But these are all the tablets I took. And that's the bottom line. Life is so precious. So precious that we first don't recognize it until it's about to go. Condolences to our friend Simon and his mother at the loss of their father. You only know when it's missing what it was. Until then, you don't know. And these SSRI drugs, they have a far more implicit um, impact on you. They reduce your creativity. To be human is to be creative. They reduce your empathy. And I remember dealing with someone many years ago who'd been on some of these drugs. And she realized when her brother died, she wasn't able to cry because of the suppression of these stuff. Destroys human expression. And most importantly, it retards growth. In other words, there is no spiritual growth. There is no transpersonal growth. Why? Because it puts a stop to it. You've already pathologized yourself. You've already convinced yourself you're ill. You're already taking drugs. Well, after you take any drug for 6 days, your body changes. That's it. After that, dependency begins. Doesn't matter what it is. About 6 days it takes. Some quicker than others. There are people who will take coke and crack and they're okay. And there are people who will have something once or twice and they become predisposed to it. That I can believe is a genetical marker. And physiologically it holds you, or psychologically. But these SSRI drugs, and I speak as a chemist, that's my background. Chemist, microbiologist, understand this stuff. Having worked with pharmaceutical companies, understand this, how the business model works. It's not about cure, it's about treatment. Always been about treatment. So once you pathologize someone, first you pathologize normal human behavior. Anxiety is normal human behavior. If you weren't anxious, you'd fall off a cliff. If you weren't anxious, you wouldn't pass your driving test. Anxiety enables your ability to absorb information, be alert, and get on with what needs to be done so you can execute the job, whatever it is. Interview, job interview, exam, whatever it is. Anxiety is what tells you, have you prepared enough? But if you see it as an illness, you've already pathologized human behavior. So to recognize, first thing is, let's recognize not the symptoms, the actual cause. If you are focused on the future, and you can begin looking at it, what will happen when I'm 80 years old? What will happen if I lose my job? What will happen if tomorrow I can't pay my mortgage? What will happen? If we keep thinking about the future, you will experience anxiety. That's it, bottom line. The more you think about the past, what happened, who did what to you, etc., will put you either in a state of anger or resentment. So anger is to do with the past. Resentment is to do with the past. Guilt is to do with the past. Shame is to do with the past. Anxiety is to do with the future. Fear is to do with the future. Neither of them you have. Neither of them. Can't do jack about your past. And you can't do nothing about your future. All you can do is what you can do now. And if we bring the past here, we contaminate the now, and then we take the same contaminant into the future. So, coming back to ADHD and how to address this. It's non-neurological development or neurodevelopment. It is the monkey mind that's running around. How do you deal with it? Well, you learn first what it is that's happening. And you begin to recognize, just as you have a body that has a system in it, circulatory system, nervous system, endocrine system, all the other systems it has, lymph system, everything. The mind also has a system of its own. And this system is basically fueled by your identity. Now, once you recognize that and you see you're feeling anxious, for example, you're feeling anxious, go to the story. What is the story you're telling yourself? Are you concerned about something? Take your focus to the story, and you will see whatever you're telling yourself, whatever your self-talk is what corresponding emotion it's creating. Now, it doesn't mean that you ignore it. What it means is you see it for what it is. And if it's telling you there's a warning, you heed warning. But if it's simply a question of just because you've heard someone else complaining about a headache, and then all of a sudden they've got a tumor, and you're at home worrying, oh, I've got a headache, I've got a tumor. Begin to see, is it psychological? Is it something you're making up? Is it a story you're telling yourself? Or is there a reality to it? And the same is now true when you begin to look at ADHD, that if the mind is jumping around from one thing to other, as the monkey does, so the mind is described in many ways. There are certain ways. One is the monkey mind. One is the elephant. Stubbornness. When you convince yourself you're right, irrespective. Then there is the moth mind. And the moth mind is like the mind of someone that is in craving. They're craving. They want something very much, chocolate or whatever. But it can be self-destructive, like the moth craves the light. Yeah, it can be self-destructive. So the mind has been given these different descriptions because that's what it is. And this is what the great teachers have been telling you. Whether it's the Christs of this world, or the Nanaks, or the Kabirs, or the Lao Tzus, doesn't matter who it is, or the Sufis, doesn't matter who it is. They've all been telling you about you. Nothing about God, about the mind, what it means to be human, and how to deal with this. Whether you call it shaitan, whether you call it the devil, or whether you call it the ego, it is basically your sense of self. That's all it is. When it is self-absorbed, it becomes evil, meaning you will damage the other for your sake. When it becomes inclusive, you can call it angelic. You can call it divine. Why? Because it thinks about the other, and within the other, it includes itself. Without wisdom, you ain't going to get it. And there is no wisdom left in modern world. Where do you get it from? It's a celebrity culture. Yeah, where do we get it from? And look at the celebrities. All those that were held so great, who were worshipped, the Savills of this world, the Glitters of this world. Where are they? What did they leave you? And the same is true today. No different. These are the wise ones in the modern world. And when you've taken wisdom away, what do you know about life? Go and earn your bread, collect plastic, die and leave it to someone else. What have you done in your life? What was it about? These are the fundamental things that the wise ones actually address. That's all wisdom is. Wisdom is knowing who you are, what you're doing here, what's your purpose. Not about making money or children, but what's your purpose? What do you know about yourself? When everyone else is telling you what you are, what do you know about yourself? So when we begin to look at these bigger questions and then address the mind within that, we begin to realize, right, this is a small issue. But by addressing this issue, you get to understand the big questions. You begin to become part of a bigger picture. And it ain't about how much money you left. It isn't about what you've made. It's about the fact that when you go from this transition to the next, you go with a smile and willingness. Can't avoid death. But we don't know. Anxiety, ADHD, all of these things. What is the root cause of this? The root cause of this is we're running away from suffering. That's all the root cause is. I don't like this, so I want to do something else. So by understanding, addressing the nature of the mind, having these understandings, and then the experience, the practices, we don't need to go into pharmaceuticals. We don't need to poison ourselves. We don't need to put a stop to what it means to be human and grow. So while these have a role, they are not the answer. The answer has always been in that which has lasted for thousands of years. And they've all been saying the same thing again, 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 again. Whether it's the Buddha or whether it's Eckhart today, makes no difference. They're all saying the same thing. So while we get dressed up, oh no, this is Buddhist and this is this, we get lost in it. Look at the wisdom. So the wisdom is very simple. Know thyself. Be still and know the kingdom is within. It's in the scriptures, in the Christian scriptures, in the Islamic scriptures, in the Buddhist scriptures, in the Sikh scriptures. The whole game is the same. Spirituality ain't something, anything big, or we have to go and find something. No, it's simply discovering you are not this little egoic self. And this, when you get wrapped up in this egoic self, then you have all the disorders. Because the ego by default is your illness, is my illness, not just yours. Why? Because society is corrupt. And this egoic sense of self has been a product of other people. The language you learn, the religion, all this sort of stuff. It's all other people's stuff. What do you know about yourself? Even the name you've been given isn't yours. So what do you know about yourself? This is the big question. Allowing yourself to be pathologized for normal human condition can be extremely limiting. So my suggestion to everyone is, before you go down the routes of using these SSRIs or any of these psychotic drugs, try meditation from a teacher who knows what they are doing, not just stuff off the internet. Find a teacher who knows what they're doing, who has a lineage, has a practice that lasts 20, 30 years. Then they know what the mind's all about. Find one. And there are many available. But certainly allow yourselves to enter this space first, and you will find yourself that a lot of your issues to do with so-called mental disorders or mental health begin to fade away. Why? Because you begin to take control. Yeah. So, takeaway from here is there are alternatives to psychotics. Use them. The nature of the mind, probably the most sophisticated understanding comes either from the Buddhist worldview or from the Gurmat worldview. They're probably the two that have the most sophisticated that you can understand in this language. Everything else is metaphoric, and you need to know the cultural domain, which doesn't quite work. Yeah. So meditation is what did I say? Meditation is to health what brushing your teeth is to dental health. Every single day, 5 minutes. That's all you need, and you will find life begins to shift. Okay, let's begin our meditation. System suppression does not help the human being. It's better to go through it and transcend it than to suppress it. So, begin with your first a check-in, right? So as you move in, as you adjust your posture, so you adjust your posture, you pull your back up, pull your shoulders back a little bit, pull your chin in, and you want to take a little snapshot of what's going on with you. And it always helps to do one at the start and to do one at the end, so you see the shift that's happened if it has. And as you draw your breath in, you bring your focus to yourself as best as you can. And notice if there's anything in the body that draws your focus. So this could be a pain, this could be an itch, feeling a tightness, or even temperature, cold, warm. Allow yourself to notice where this is, if anywhere. And now I want you to bring your focus first towards your eyes. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the sense organs. So you bring your focus towards the eyes, and you begin to notice that you have the ability to observe darkness on the back of your eyelids. In other words, you can see. And what you may see may be darkness, maybe lights, maybe thoughts, but you're able to perceive. So just hold your focus at your eyes as best as you can. Okay? On your next breath out, bring your focus now towards your ears and begin to listen. So you're not looking for any sounds, but you simply the ability to listen. And your next breath in, you're going to bring your focus just beneath your nose, and you begin to notice your breath. And as the breath moves in, the breath moves out, see if there's an aroma to it. And next, we move our focus to our mouth and notice if there's a taste. Allow our tongue to soften. And then finally, we bring our focus to the top of our head. We imagine a hula hoop. And as this hoop comes down, we begin to sense our body, looking for sensations from the top of your head all the way down. And take your time. All the way down. And as you draw your breath in, becoming aware of your body as best as you can, and once again notice if there's anything that draws your focus. Any pain, ache, tightness, itch, anywhere in the body. Just locate it. And now gently bringing your focus to the seat you're on. Notice the sensations where your body makes contact with your seat. From those sensations, we bring our focus up towards our hips. Gently moving down our thighs towards our knees. From your knees, moving down towards your ankles. Notice your feet. And then gently moving to the soles of your feet. Next breath in, bring your focus back to the seat you're on. Notice your back is straight and upright. And then gently bringing your focus from your lower back to the middle back. From your middle back up towards the shoulder blades. Notice your shoulders. Notice your neck. See if you can soften this part of the body a bit. And then gently moving your focus to your from your shoulders to your elbows, scanning the top part of your arm as best as you can. From your elbow to your wrists. Notice the palms of your hands. Notice your fingers. And then as you breathe in, you bring your focus once again towards your eyes and begin to notice what you have awareness of. Recognizing that you are awareness itself. You can't switch it off. Ever present. What do you have in your awareness right now? If you bring it towards your eyes, it's darkness. If you bring it towards your ears, it's sound. On your next breath out, you allow your eyes to soften. And as the breath comes in, you bring your focus towards your lips. Scanning your upper lip. Scanning your lower lip. And then gently moving your focus within your mouth. Notice the roof of your mouth. The inside cheeks. Notice your jaw. Allow it to soften. Allow your tongue to soften. And on your next breath out, you allow your face to soften. Next breath in, once again, become aware of your body as best as you can. And now gently bringing your focus beneath your nose and begin to watch your breath. This is training your focus. Holding your focus beneath your nose with a little bit of effort. That's all it needs, a little bit of effort. And to focus on something, the object being the breath at the moment. Allowing the breath to breathe by itself. When you find that your focus has drifted because of a sound, a thought, or my voice, notice the distraction, come back to your breath. Stay with your breath. Notice you have an in breath and you have an out breath. The in breath has a start, a middle, and an end. The out breath has a start, a middle, and an end. See if you can notice that. Stay with your breath. Notice if your breath feels long or if it feels short. If it's long, no need to make it short. If it's short, no need to make it long. Things are the way they are. Does your breath flow smoothly or does it feel erratic? Now, on your next breath in, you're going to bring your focus to your inner space. By this, we mean our thoughts and how we're feeling. Notice if the monkey mind has found some stillness. And if you find you've been distracted by a thought, notice how quickly you can come back to your breath. Holding your focus on your breath. And now bringing your focus to your chest, begin to notice the movement of your chest in rhythm with your breath. Your focus is simply on your chest at the moment. Notice the breath moving in, expands your chest. Breath moves out, the chest falls. And there are sensations around your ribs. It may be very subtle. See if you can notice them. Notice what changes as the breath moves in and the breath moves out. And now gently moving your focus a bit deeper into yourself, right where your heart is. And see if you can hold it there. Coming home. And as you hold your focus there, begin to notice how you're feeling at the moment. Do you feel comfortable, peaceful, settled, content? Or do you feel uncomfortable, anxious, irritated, unsettled? right now. And then on your next breath out, you simply open your focus to all the sounds around you and begin to listen once again. Gently bring your focus beneath your nose, sitting with your breath in silence, and begin to notice your experience. Bringing your focus now to the sound of your breath, if you can, as best as you can. Stay with your breath. And now, on your next breath out, expanding your focus to include your whole body once again. And again, notice if there's any discomfort in the body anywhere. Notice how you're feeling within yourself. And now, to bring our focus back into the body, bring your focus to the seat you're on. And again, notice the sensations where the chair or the seat makes contact with your body. Slowly moving your focus up to the hips. And then from the hips, allowing it to move down, drifting down your thighs towards your knees. Slowly bringing focus back into the body. From your knees, moving down towards your ankles. Notice your feet. Gently moving to the soles of your feet. Once again, coming back to the seat. Notice you're held in place. Your back is straight and upright. Your shoulders, your arms, hands are comfortable, relaxed. Your eyes are still closed, your mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed, bringing your focus back to your breath. And now, as the breath moves in, we can sense the body. As the breath moves out, we can sense the body. Breathing in, you feel calm. Breathing out, you feel calm. Breathing in, you feel settled. Breathing out, you feel settled. Taking a note of how you're feeling. How do you feel within yourself? And when you're ready, when you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw some slow, deep breaths in, and in your own good time, gently opening your eyes, bringing some of this peace back with you. Take your time.